Ooh, that looks tasty.
Congratulations, comrades. You have made it to World Championship. Unfortunately, it is for Russian roulette. Let us all hope you do not go out with a bang. I kid. Welcome, folks. Today the Hungry Gamer is back with another game review. This time we have the second in my three-part series of games by Tuesday Night Games. This time we have World Championship Russian Roulette by Anthony Burch. Now I'm going to go ahead and set this up for a quick two-player setup. The game does play better with more players, and it is made to play with up to 6. But just so you get to understand how the game works, I will set it up for 2. Alright, here we are set up for a 2-player game. And again, I will say right now that this game is played better with 4, 5, or 6 players. So, quick rundown of what we have. Each team is color-coded, so we have Victor Vengeance and his 3 teammates here, and we have Dirty Daryl and his 3 teammates here. Each player has a die that has numbers 0 through 5 on it, and this is what you're going to be bidding with. For those of you that don't know, Russian roulette is you put 1 bullet in a revolver, you spin the chamber, and you point it at yourself and you shoot. And this is representing how many times you're going to pull the trigger without shooting yourself. And then each player has their trigger pulls. You'll see that there are 6 clicks and 1 bang. Now, I know what you're thinking. A revolver has only 6 bullets in it, but I will explain how this works in just a minute. Then we have these here. These are representative of your points. A silver's a 1, a gold's a 5. And then we have here action cards. Basically, these are just ways that you are able to vary what's happening. You can make somebody point their gun at someone else, you can point your gun in the air, make someone pull the trigger again. It changes with each card. Now, this is all you need to be set up. The last thing we need to do is each player starts with a action card. So I will just draw randomly from the top. So my yellow team has pull harder. Choose any player. That player must raise their bid by 1. If this would make their bid higher than 5, then their bid becomes a 0. And you play this during what is called the challenge phase, and I will explain that in just a minute. So we'll take that, and I will put that face up over here so you can see it. And then my purple team has die dice. Choose any player. That player must roll their bidding die. The result is their new bid. And again, you're going to play that during the challenge phase. The first thing you do is the pocket phase. And what that means is secretly, each player is going to pick one of these cards. So either a click or the bang, the bullet, and they're going to put it in their pocket. So either a blank or an actual bullet. And so that'll leave you with 6 cards. So just for kicks, we're going to say that our yellow player, they're going to pocket their bullet. So you take that and you put it face down underneath your big card there. And then we'll say purple, they're going to go ahead and they're going to pocket a blank. And that is the pocket phase. And of course, at this time, it's when someone could play an action card if they have one that says play during the pocket phase. Then you go to the spin phase, clearly being representative of your spinning the cylinder in the revolver. What that means is you take your remaining cards and you shuffle. You don't know what is going to be on top. Now for yellow, that doesn't really matter because yellow has no bullet in their gun. But purple here does. So purple now has no idea where in their cylinder the bullet actually is. And again, if you had an action card that said play during the spin phase, this is where you would play it. Then you go to the bidding phase. And this is really the core of the game. This is where the push your luck comes in. Each player takes their die and they're going to pick how many times they're going to pull the trigger. So just for kicks, we'll say that our yellow player, they don't want to be too obvious that they've hidden their bullet, so they're going to say 3. And they would hold this hidden so no one can see it. Whereas my purple player, we're just going to say he's just going to go for 1 because he doesn't know where that bullet is. And he would take this and keep it hidden. Then on the count of 3, they would both reveal. So we have 3 and we have a 1. Then we move into the challenge phase. And this is where you get to say, you know what? I think you're hiding your bullet in your pocket. and anybody can challenge anybody else. And so this is kind of where the gambling comes into this game, because you're sitting and you're looking at what people are bidding. And gosh, are they bidding higher because they're confident, but they don't want to bid too high because it's obvious? Are they bidding low just to kind of throw us off the scent? You really don't know. So, but for the sake of argument, we will say that there are no challenges this round, so you can kind of see how this goes. However, what I will tell you is this is what happens if you do make a challenge. So if you do challenge someone and they have not hidden a bullet, the accused player was innocent. The wrongly accused player gets one action card because they were accused and had to turn out their pockets. And the player who accused them has to take one of the clicks out of their hand and replace that with a bang. So that could mean that they had more than one bang in their gun. And now remember, this comes after the bidding phase, so you're stuck with whatever it is. And then, of course, you have to reshuffle your deck or spin again. If there is a bullet in the pocket, the accused player has been caught, the judge straight up kills you. Done, you're out. And then the person who did the accusing draws 3 action cards as a reward. Now, if you are killed at any point, either by drawing a bang or by cheating and getting caught, you take one of your guys here and you flip it over to the dead side. Just means you are out, you are dead. You'll note that you have 4 lives in essence, i.e. 4 members of your team. Now what I will do now is I will play some of these cards. So we'll say that yellow during the challenge phase is going to play this and make the other player raise their bid by 1. So now purple is going to have to draw 2 cards. Then this gets discarded. And our purple player is also going to play theirs, which means that yellow has to take their die here and roll it. And now they're stuck with 4, which you and I know that's good for them because there is no bang in there. But if there was a bang in there, now they're getting nervous. Then we move into the trigger phase. And that means everybody, they draw until they've reached the number that they have bid. So the first thing happens, and I'll put these a little closer so we can see, is first round, both of our players draw. Click, click. So both players are fine. That's 1. And then we go to the next round. And again, during this phase, if you have a card that is played during the trigger phase, you can play it. And then we go to the next one. And again, click, click. So good. Now this is where purple stops because purple only bid 2. And then yellow would keep going for 2 more. We know it's a click and we know that it is another click. That's the end of the trigger round. Now again, had purple drawn a bang, then they would take one of their guys here, flip it over, and they would be dead. They would not score anything this round. And then we go into the point phase, which is where you count up your points. Scoring is very simple. If you didn't die, you get a point. So hooray for both sides. And then you get 1 point for every time you pull the trigger. So yellow here is up to 5, and our purple, they're up to 3. That's how the game works. Super simple, very easy. You play until there's only one person with any lives left, or someone gets to 15 points. So there you have it. That's the game. Again, like with the other Tuesday night games, this is a very simple, streamlined, fast game. Again, they make games that are intended for non-gamers. So what do I like about this game? Well, I love the way it plays. It is fun. It is delightful trying to read your opponents and figure out if, well, are they hiding a bullet this time? Are they trying to trick me and make me accuse them of something? So I'm accusing someone falsely, then they get a reward. And you kind of go back and forth. You have to kind of figure out. There's some social deduction going on in this game. And it's just enough social deduction to make it interesting, but not so much that you are playing a social deduction game, which a lot of people really aren't into. I also think that this game really nails it thematically. It really, just down to the terminology and the way it's done. You know, you're not shuffling, you're spinning, but of course you're really just shuffling, but it really gets that feel. You don't know where the bullet is, which is kind of the point behind this Russian roulette. I think the artwork is good. It's not something that you're going to write home about, but it does kind of give you the the vibe of this kind of dark, underground, horrific tournament that's going on, while at the same time not being so horribly gruesome that you're going to be completely turned off. So I think that's well done. I think the addition of these action cards here are really what make the game. I mean, if you look here, play during the trigger phase, all living players aim their gun at a player of their choice instead of themselves with the next trigger pull. Bang someone! So that is crazy when that comes up, because you think you know what's going on and then suddenly like, oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening here. You know, air gun. Aim your gun into the air instead of yourself for the next pull. So no one's going to get hurt if you pull a bang. Vodka time. If you're the highest surviving bidder, you get 2 additional victory points. If you're a tie for surviving bidder, highest surviving bidder, you get 1 additional point. Play during the point phase. So it's just very thematic. It's very fun. It's very clever. And it mixes up the game just enough that it keeps you on your toes. Now, what do I think is something to be aware of as you're playing this game? And happily, I only really have one thing that comes to mind, and that is the theme. This theme might bother you. This idea of people shooting each other, shooting themselves, especially in the world that we are in nowadays. And I think it's just simply something that you as a consumer have to stop and decide, does this theme bother you? Or are you okay with it? And I'll be honest, when I first walked over to play this game at Origins, I was trepidatious. I just didn't think that it was something that I wanted to kind of dive into. It seemed kind of icky to me, especially as a school teacher. But I went over there, my buddy Streamline Matt was playing, and so I wanted to hang out. And the quality and fun of this game very quickly outweighed my trepidation. I think this is a very fun game, and it's one that I will play almost any time. If the theme doesn't bother you, this is a must-own game. It's just that much fun. So, there you have it, folks. That is everything you need to know about World Championship Russian Roulette by Tuesday Night Games. And I will also just throw out there, the people at Tuesday Night Games are genuinely kind, delightful people. So I fully endorse supporting them if you can, especially because this also is a fairly inexpensive game. As always, if you have any comments as to something that I did wrong in the gameplay, which is pretty embarrassing because there's 6 rules to this game, please let me know. I will put it into the Klingon subtitles. Please include a timestamp with that. It makes it much easier. If you have any comments on just a way to improve these videos, also let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to improve upon that in the future. Finally, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I have a bunch of reviews, previews, unboxings coming up the rest of the summer. As always, thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.